What's up, YouTube? It's Double D here on the Double D channel. Today I'm going to talk about the Sportster Iron 883. I am on a 2015 and I love it. I've got some things I love about it, and there's some things I, could be better or dislike, I guess, more or less. But we will do that in a separate video. Today we're just going to talk about the things I love about this bike, right? So me being a first-time rider, I needed a bike that was, I don't want to say a beginner bike per se, or I didn't want a cross rocket. I wanted a cruiser, but I needed something within a budget that I wanted to stick with. And so I looked around. I started with the Kawasaki Vulcan S, and I was like, oh, I really like that. But I was like, man, I really like Harley because of the name and nostalgia and whatever, that kind of stuff. So I was like, cool, I'm gonna go. I really like the Kawasaki though, and so I started watching YouTube videos on some certain guys that did Kawasaki videos reviews, and they all had the same thing. It was same. I mean, it was all the same. And then I was like, well, I like the Harley, so I found some, Harley videos and started doing a bunch of research because, as you get older, you like to do your research and figure out what you want to buy, and you want to make sure you make smart decisions. And so I looked for a good 6 months before I actually rode a bike or found what I was looking for. And I don't know if y'all listen to podcasts as well, but I listened to a few podcasts, and one of the guys that really stuck to me, and I believe it was Revzilla's Low Side or whatever. I'm not sure if that's the exact same title, but whatever, it doesn't matter. And one of the guys had made a comment about, go to the dealerships, and if you feel like you're welcome, cool. If you don't, you think about it from there. And we have we have two Harley dealers close, well, not within close distance, but pretty close to me. We got a Honda dealer that sells Honda and Yamaha, and then we have a Kawasaki dealer that sells Kawasaki and something else. I don't remember. Anyways, they sell, I don't even know what they are. No, I'm not going to ramble about it. But, there's not a whole lot of dealers. I think there's a Triumph dealer as well. It's like a little small shop. Then I think they only have like 2 bikes in the store, but they order you one kind of thing. But I wasn't into Triumph. I didn't like the style of the Triumphs. But now that I'm getting more into motorcycles, that's a whole different subject. But I went to the Kawasaki dealer a bunch because that's, I was looking at the Kawasaki. And I walk in there and there's a dude sitting at the desk. Can I help you? Oh, I'm just looking, cool, just wander around. And it was just like, everybody just seemed like subdued, and I just was on like medication or something. It was really just weird. And I went to the Honda dealer, the Honda and Kawasaki, no, Honda and Yamaha dealer, good Lord. And they were cool. I met a few different people that worked there and had a good old time talking to them. But the only bike that I liked per se was the CTX 700. And they don't make them anymore. So it was like going there, you'd buy a used one or one that'd been sitting on the showroom for a couple years. And I didn't really want that because the bike just didn't, they tell you if you don't look at the bike and go, damn, that's my bike, it's that. And I didn't see that factor when I looked at that bike a couple of times. And I was like, okay, so I like the Kawasaki, and I like the Iron. So I started going to the Harley dealers, and I went to a lot of Harley dealers because there for a while I was doing a lot of traveling with my son's soccer club, and we were all over the Dallas-Fort Worth area. So we went to, I don't know how many dealers, and man, every weekend I went up there was some event, and like I'd walk in there and just some random dude would start talking. We'd talk about bikes, and it was like the whole experience was just amazing, right? And so, what's up, man? So it was just unreal. And so I was like, and I really like the Sportster. It looks cool, and the endless amount of customizations you can do to these things, holy crap, dude. I love it. I mean, and the other thing that's kind of bad about it, and I'll get that in the video, is the market, because there's so many videos out there, there's so many aftermarket companies for this bike, and it's like, I can do that, oh cool, I want to do that, oh I can do this, I can do that. So you can go endless, and it's like, it's kind of bad in that aspect, because the fact of it is you spend way too much money on these things, so that can get you in trouble. But going back to the whole dealer, it was like, and the the dealership at the Harleys are just, you know, it's a warm aspect, which, you know, it helps. It's like, you know, I know that's their job to make you feel like warm and cozy, that you bought a bike and whatnot. So it is what it is. But like I said, the Kawasaki modifications, just, you know, everything was like, if you wanted exhaust, it was $600, right? And everything seemed to be like a couple $100, and it was like, you know, on a Harley you could go buy a $40 parts that'll last forever for this Sportster. So it was like, you know, I started thinking about that. And, you know, no bike, I think, I mean, I know there's people out there that'll ride a stock bike for days and years and never change anything, but I can't. I want it to be my own, you know. So that's why, you know, I went ahead and started looking at Sportsters, and I was all over the place. Like, I love the iron for a couple different reasons. Style, a couple YouTubers, you know, which most of y'all never know who that YouTuber is, but so that's where I'm at with that. So, you know, that's why I was like, you know, I like this bike, and I like the super low, which they discontinued. And so I was like, oh. And then the super low, I don't know, I didn't see a color that I was like, dude, I really need to have that, right? And then I was like, oh, I'll just buy this red one because it's cheaper. But then I'm like, well, I don't really like red. So, which makes me laugh because my gloves are red and my helmet's red, but that's a whole different subject. We'll get into that, why I chose the gear that I chose. But so, and then, you know, I went on a Friday with my wife, and we were just talking, and we went to the Harley dealer because I knew I was set on a Harley at this point. I knew that's what I wanted, and this bike had been sitting there for a little bit, and I saw it a couple times when I went, and it just didn't, I don't know, it didn't fit me right. So I just like, whatever, you know. And so I was trying a couple different bikes, and then we went up there to go see this one because I really liked it, and I was like, all right, cool. We got up there, and the pictures did not do it justice. It was like, I just, no. My wife's like, God, you're picky as you are about shoes. And so we went to we were at the dealer, and then I saw this one again. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna go sit on it. And I sat on it. It didn't have these bars on it, which I'll explain that in a later video or whatever. So, but I like the upper style of the bars, and I didn't like the bars per se, but I liked the way it made me feel, and or the way the stance was. And I was like, I said, babe. She said, yep, let's go. And so she knew exactly how I felt about the bike. And yes, I had to change a bunch of things to make it my own, but, and that's what I liked about it. So we went in there and we bought ourselves a 2015 Sportster Iron 883, and I do not regret it one bit. My bank account regrets it a little bit, but hey, you know, if you're going into motorcycling because it's cheaper on gas, it's cheaper on this, it's cheaper on insurance, you're sadly mistaken. You will spend just as much customizing it, making it yours. So, but guys, that's why I chose the Sportster. I mean, you know, I hear everybody talk how bad it is. I mean, there's so many people out there, oh my God, it's a girl's bike. And if it's a girl's bike, that's fine. I don't care. I love the bike. It fits me perfectly. I am a 5'8". Okay, I'll give you that. I am 5'7" and a half. I have short legs for a 5'7" and a half person. My upper body is a little bit bigger, and that's probably why I like the upper, more taller bars. So, you know, and that's what my biggest point about people with motorcycling is, if you fit it, it's the bike for you. Don't buy a bike because, oh, it's, you know, it's a girl's bike, I can't drive a girl's bike. Yes, you can. This bike, anybody can ride it. Anybody. I mean, heck, my son, who is, I don't know, 4'2", he technically can put his feet down on the ground. It's a little more tiptoey than anything else, but he can put his feet down on the ground. Now, he has not ridden this bike. He has put his feet on the ground. I've held the bike, but that's about as far as we go with that. He's not ready for that. So, you know, this bike is been around for a very long time. Hang on a second. All right, I'm back. That light was a little way too long. Anyway, so yeah, you know, now what I will say about the Harley, when I first bought it, I didn't look back and go, damn, that's a beautiful bike. And it was, but all the pictures and Instagram photos that I've seen, and I'm like, that can be a badass bike. You just need to put a little bit of work into it. Like, it was almost, everything was stock on it except for the headlight and the bars. That was, everything else was stock. It had the stock whisper exhaust is what I like to call it, because it was so quiet. Yeah, I mean, that's basically why I bought it. Because, and then the fact of it, as I started pricing it out, I was like, you can make this bike your own for fairly cheap, and there's so many different exhausts, there's so many different accessories. I mean, you can make it into a bobber, you can make it into a cafe racer, you can make it into a chopper, whatever. So that's why I chose the iron, because you can do whatever you want. Now, the style that I want, I'm not sure. I'm not into the bobber, I'm into this, and we will show video on all the accessories that I've done. Kind of wish I would have done some how-tos on the stuff that I did, but you know, as I'm learning, it was kind of one of those things, let's just do it. So yeah, we will go from there. If you got any comments about the Sportster or anything, just put them down in the comments down below, and we will go from there. But guys, just remember, ride safe and don't be a jerk. I'll catch you on the next one. Peace.